so that's working. All right, everybody. I had to go to recording. Going live is making me freaking go crazy. So now we're just going to be doing a recording, and I'm going to be sharing this later. So we're still here at Vallejo's People's Garden, getting the tour. This is the second garden they have here at this location, 1055 Azura. It's at the Vallejo Project.
Vallejo People's Garden.
Well, Vallejo Project, everybody kind of knows Vallejo Project. Right behind the Vallejo Project building. But this is the Vallejo People's Garden. Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, come on over. Let me show you some more.
I've seen this a few times. You guys do yoga back here, right?
Yeah, on that deck.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ways, David, where we teach people that you don't have to have a huge space. You can utilize like against a wall or a fence and grow up.
Okay.
So you don't have to have a huge space in order to grow food.
Yeah, we used to, our backyard and front yard, we were growing vegetables on it. But the neighborhood cats used to like our backyard as their...
Yes.
And I was like, I'm not eating vegetables or fruits that are grown by that type of soil. And how do you... I mean... Someone like what would be your counter to avoid the cats getting into your garden?
So what I use is like brambles that have the spike to them. I've used pine cones that have the sharp to them. You can use forks that are upside down because they don't like to get their paws in anything sharp. Rose branches that you've pruned, you can do that too.
Okay.
That's a natural way to do it.
All right, because I think that's probably something that, I don't know if that looms on people, but like our neighborhood, like I said, we have cats, and for 2 years we did it, and then, but that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
What's this plant right here?
This is the gumweed.
Yeah, gumweed. That's right.
Gumweed, right here.
Right.
But it's taken over. We had Monarch milkweed here.
Do you want me to get you some more milkweed, my friend? We could take some of this out and put some milkweed in.
Yeah, we're going to need that because the gumweed is taking over. Yep.
What is this?
It is, no, it's not a sage. It's, echium, variegated echium. And it's very easy to propagate. You could just take these things like this. And each point is a node. You stick it in the ground, and eventually you'll have something like this.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you want that one, you can have it. Otherwise, it becomes compost. All right, show you some more. This area right here is called our tropical fruit strip because we're growing a lot of tropical food here, like this goji berry.
Ooh, goji berries.
Have you tried it fresh, David?
No.
It's delicious.
Oh my gosh, my daughter would love this.
Yeah, try it.
No way. You ever tried goji berry?
No. How do you tell the ripe one?
Oh, it's orange. It's soft.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
whoa, that's what they taste like before they're dried out?
Yeah.
Wow.
High in antioxidants.
Well, I could feel
they're so sweet.
Yeah, right?
Oh my gosh. That's special. Thanks. Because me and my daughter,
I'm going to scare Gary. I'll be right
we're kind of, well, not right now, but one time I was a real health nut, and this was something that we studied for antioxidants and vitamin B's. And it's
vitamin C's.
You know, and what's crazy is
goji berry. Goji berry.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I've never even, so I'm so excited to,
Isn't that good, David?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, that is special. I don't think I've ever seen a goji berry plant in my life.
That's awesome.
I've eaten plenty of goji berries. Boy, do they stick to your teeth when they're dry.
I know.
Not this. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dragon fruit right over there.
Dragon
fruit. Not yet. The flower just dried up and died right now. But at the grocery store, there's like $6 for one fruit.
Yeah.
Loquat, David. So This is a pineapple guava. If you ever have a chance to see it flower, taste the flower. It tastes like candy. Pineapple guava. We don't. It's done blooming already, but.
Oh, when does it bloom? When's the next cycle?
Probably around April. In the spring. In the spring. It tastes like candy. I'm telling you.
And here's where they do yoga, huh?
We've had Tai Chi done here with the seniors.
How cool! How cool!
I'm trying to get them here on Fridays.
Oh.
But they're used to over at City Park. They love it over there.
I don't know. That probably might screw up.
What's that?
There's a group of that's the
passion fruit. Yeah.
That does the dancing where they paint their face like the skulls or whatever. The Mexican style dancing.
Oh yeah.
And gosh, they're looking for a place to practice, but I don't know if they have taps. They do have the. We'll talk about that off camera.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah. Oh wow.
This is passion fruit.
Do you eat those or no?
This is passion fruit. I see, like this one here, Karen. See right here, but they're ripe when they drop off.
Oh.
So it's not.
So they tell you when.
Yes, they tell you. Nice. And believe it or not, this is from one vine, and it'll take over.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is this considered a native?
No, this is a tropical.
Take that language with us around here.
This makes a good privacy fence. If you want
what does passion fruit taste like?
Yeah, it's tropical taste.
Like a kiwi?
I guess so.
Mango? I like mangoes.
Yeah. I think it's more like kiwi-ish.
More like what?
Kiwi-ish.
Oh.
How long did it take for this to get this big?
This, maybe about a year. That's why I tell people, if you want a quick privacy fence, this is what you grow.
Yesterday.
Oh, there's different ones. This one is Passiflora edulis, Frederick.
Look up the one that I bought.
And it makes a really quick privacy fence. So this one over here, I wish it was in bloom for you. This one's a California native. And it's called Ceanothus, but the flowers are just the prettiest blue,
you tried the goji berry?
baby blue. And the Native Americans,
you didn't like that?
You add water.
Have you ever eaten the dry goji berries?
So we've had the kids just come here, wash their hands just by using the Ceanothus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it's done blooming. Usually in April they come out.
Maybe.
And it's the most beautiful flowers, and bees love it. There's more to show you. More to show you. Let's go show you some more. Yeah.
Wow. Vallejos People's Garden. Good. We good. What you doing?
Fountain or the succulents?
Well, I would do similar.
Yeah.
So somebody donated
What do you
this, and
think,
it was
man?
just in the parking lot. I said, let's
like
put a succulent over there. So we drilled holes underneath,
Me neither.
and we planted those
But
things.
now I'm starting to learn.
Yeah.
Thanks to the butterfly movement, Monarch movement.
Plan if I got a big fountain that I want to go turn into like a
Like a succulent.
hydro type of.
Oh,
I like it.
Outgrown my terrarium.
oh, I see.
Is it dead?
Well, you see my
Well,
front
that's
yard.
the thing about gardening.
I
is
like
that,
growing
you know,
foxtails.
I mean, my front yard looks great.
I will get
You know,
David,
yeah. Ah,
Suzanne Clark, nice to meet you, David.
yeah,
Winston.
Suzanne came down from Petaluma.
Oh, nice.
She definitely, she knows a lot about plants and everything, but she was one of our presenters at
More to
the
show you.
festival, and we're trying to
More
get
to show
her
you.
involved with the
Come on over here.
our whole pollinator protectors project, and that project is to go into
Oh, gosh,
the
I've been a-
schools and teach the kids about pollinators,
Yeah.
and then
I was a
plant pollinating
gardener, and
gardens at the schools.
Kids were,
So, and Suzanne, we're hoping that we can work with her on that because of the
And my
extensive
first
knowledge she has, and she's
actually taught was
retired
on
teacher,
California natives.
and she does a
This
lot
was
of
1990s.
public speaking.
I'm a Sonoma County
Yeah.
gardener.
She's a Sonoma County Master Gardener.
Right,
That's
and-
right. Go
Well,
ahead.
there's
Tammy.
more to show
Yeah,
you.
I have a Facebook page.
I know.
North
Over here, you
Butterfly
guys.
Alliance. And we're linking people who are interested in butterflies all
Yeah,
around.
he's doing.
And I've worked with a Rotary Club in Petaluma to give away free native milkweed, narrowleaf milkweed. And I have about 300 people
They're
on my email
invasive,
list now.
and that's
To-
the
and I'm
neighbors.
sharing
And we
knowledge,
recently, with our
you know,
Toro
with them
students,
about
had to see it's
Monarch
already coming up.
butterflies and all
We had them
butterflies.
weed it out.
And we're trying to make a corridor
But we
of
planted
pollinating
California native.
plants and nectar plants from from Marin all the way around Sonoma
Please try to, because it's shaded
Solano
out.
County and on, to make a corridor for monarchs as they go further north, but also just to make sure that we have pollinating plants and milkweed, throughout the county.
Awesome, awesome. I'm so game on that with the getting the monarchs into schools and what that could do for our children. Learning, it's something to learn about, which is, it gets to me. It's like when you study, like from my own experience with the monarchs being involved. I'm like, maybe when was your guys' festival in June?
It was May 19th.
So I'm like a couple of months into my own journey of trying to do whatever I can to get the monarch movement out there and their importance and how important they are, especially to Vallejo, because we're a tourist city. We got people traveling here, and to have that setting where you see thousands and thousands of monarchs hanging on a tree, it just gives one more reason for people to want to enjoy our city. But to see it in our schools and to have our children learn about, which pretty much life, pollination, their migrating habits, and then to see the kids at school chasing them. So now they're getting exercise, right?
But they're also, Vallejo is in a really important part.
Yeah.
Because it's on the flight path from the coast, California coast, up to Canada. So this is actually a migrating pathway. So that makes it even more important to get pollinating plants here. Because after the monarchs leave their overwintering sites on the coast, they come this way about here to actually look for milkweed to lay eggs, because they haven't made it over the winter, but then in spring they do, and they're desperately looking for milkweed eggs. Milkweed plants to lay their eggs, because they will only lay their eggs on milkweed, and if they don't have milkweed, the female will die with her ovary full of eggs, and we don't want that.
No, and so what Suzanne is doing up and down these different counties is so important, because I don't know if you know this, David, but since 1997 in the United States, we have lost over 100 million acres of milkweed. And organizations like Suzanne's and mine, we're doing everything we can to get it back, to plant as much as possible, and then teach people why it's important.
Yeah, so it's citizen science.
Citizen
too.
science.
That we're working with. And when people see monarch butterflies or milkweed, we encourage them to upload a photograph on iNaturalist. It's an app on smartphones, and it's on a website, and it's brought to us by the California Academy of Sciences. And so you put it on there, and then we're able to track where the monarchs are in their migration, either going north or coming south. So that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Because we're about to welcome them for overwintering sites.
Yeah. So, David, we should go look at the pollinator pathway, because we put that in to help our monarchs and our pollinators.
Okay, very nice meeting you.
Oh, you guys leaving?
Yeah, very nice meeting you.
Oh, okay. Very nice meeting you.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I got more to catch up on you.
Yeah.
So I got work to
We
do
can
tonight
get them
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
We can get them from David, definitely.
Okay,
Well,
thank
let's
you.
go look at the
Later, homie.
pollinator pathway. David, we put in the pollinator pathway to feed mostly the monarchs, but to feed all pollinators on the island, because we've lost so many pollinators. And as you come over here, you'll see is we created sections on the pollinator pathway that feed specific pollinators. We put in certain plants that all the different pollinators like. And when I talk about pollinators, we're talking about bees, we're talking about bats, we're talking about ladybugs, we're talking about different butterflies, moths. People just don't know that there's a lot of different pollinators out there. It's not just bees. So if you come over here, you'll see the pathway. There's a sign here. This area is dedicated to bats. And you know how it says there are more than 15 bat species in the United States are currently listed as endangered or threatened? even more now. This is only a year old, and there's even more. It's really a shame, but we try to put in plants that the bats like. So if you come over
Oh,
here,
really? Bats?
yeah, come over here. Actually, this is the beginning right here. On either side, you can start this way or start down there. But this welcomes you to the pollinator pathway, and it reminds you that 85% of all the food we eat needs to be pollinated. And what people don't realize, David, is that a lot of food that we eat cannot be pollinated by hand or machines. So if we lose certain pollinators, we're going to lose that food. For example, there is a bee that all it does is pollinate blueberries. We lose the bee, we lose blueberries.
Can't have that.
No. And there are pollinators that all they do is they get this, they pollinate chocolate and coffee. We don't want to lose those. So we would not have wine, coffee, chocolate without our pollinators. Here are some of our different pollinators. Beetles are actually the oldest pollinator, David. They're over, I think, 450 million years old is when we first started seeing beetles. And they're before bees and before butterflies and everything. And they're a major pollinator. But here's the pathway. And there's a sign over there. Let's see what that means. Be careful where you are. You should probably stay on the path. This is the path here. This one's for hummingbirds. Now, here's an interesting about hummingbirds. I think it's Allen's hummingbird, David. 64% of their range in California is gone.
What?
Yes, we're losing our hummingbirds. And that's why it's really important, that we take care of them. A good news is a lot of people feed hummingbirds in their gardens and everything, but it would be even better if they planted plants that the hummingbirds like, and that's what we're trying to do here is have some plants that they like. But if you follow the pathway, you'll see more signs here. Over here, believe it or not, David, you're going to be surprised. Flies. Flies are a pollinator, and they're the most important pollinators after bees because they get around to everything. And yeah, we know that a lot of people don't like them, but listen to this. A recent analysis of crop species found that flies visited 72% of the 105 crops that they studied, that scientists studied. Bees visited 93%. So what that means is right behind bees, they're a major pollinator. Believe it or not. They visit crops. They pollinate. They get pollen on their bodies and they fly from plant to plant and they pollinate them. Over here, I told you about beetles.
Mm-hmm.
480 millions ago. I thought it was 450. They are really important. They're important pollinators for food crops that monarchs eat. They pollinate yarrow, they pollinate sunflowers and goldenrods. Those are all plants that the adult monarch love. So the pollinators help each other out too.
Wow. See, again, this is something important that we don't. I didn't learn none of this stuff in school.
I know.
So it would be so unique for Vallejo because, like she was saying, that we're a actual pathway, and in order to keep up that ecosystem, for them to do that, it's going to take a human effort.
Yes.
And it's better to like indoctrinate the kids now about how important.
Now. Yes. So we've got plants on both sides of the pathway here. Over here is moths. Moths actually are very vital. They actually visit a more diverse plant species than bees do and some other insects. Moths are very important. And we lose moths, we lose biodiversity. We have, oh, believe it or not, wasps. Everybody hates wasps, but wasps are a pollinator. I bet you don't know this, David. There are 900 different species of wasps in the world that are responsible for pollinating 900 different species of fig trees.
Oh my goodness.
If we don't have wasps, we don't have figs. And figs are my favorite. I have
that's
two.
so delicious.
Yes, and you have to understand there the figs that are pollinating the wasps that are pollinating fig trees. Those are not the aggressive wasps like the mud daubers and hornets and yellow jackets. That's not the wasps we're talking about. They're a completely different type of wasp. They're actually very shy and they don't bother humans. But humans, of course, don't know that. People don't know that. They see a wasp, they kill the wasp. And it's not as though you can really easily discriminate between them. But I try to tell people in our group to be very careful because we want to have wasps around, of course, that pollinate. And there are 30,000 different identified species of wasps, and they do more good than they do harm.
Wow.
I know.
Okay. Yes. Here's the big thing is making the point is that certain insects are pollinators to certain plants. Without those insects, there is none of that plant.
Exactly. That's a huge takeaway. And then, of course, at the beginning of the pathway, we've got the monarch butterfly. Oh, and David, there was a new study that came out last week. Do you know about neonicotinoids?
No, I don't.
Okay, neonicotinoids are a herbicide, and I guess they're both an herbicide and a pesticide. They're in Bayer Monsanto treats their crops like corn and soybean and wheat with these neonicotinoids because it kills weeds, right? But what it's doing is it is harming bees, and they just found out that it's harming monarch butterflies too. It's just decimating them all throughout the country. We've got to get neonicotinoids off the market. They literally coat seeds with neonicotinoids. Those seeds grow up into plants, and the neonicotinoids are in the plants. And then what happens is the bees and the monarch butterflies, they get these neonicotinoids into their systems. The bees, it scrambles their brains and they can't get back to their nests. With the monarchs, it just outright kills them. And then if there's seeds on the ground that are treated with neonicotinoids and a bird eats them, it can kill the bird.
Then we're eating that
And
stuff
we're eating
with
that
the
stuff,
neonicotinoids.
in it, and we don't know what that's doing to us. We just don't know. So it's really important to understand our food systems. I tell people, eat organic, demand organic corn, demand organic soybeans, demand organic wheat. We don't have to live like this. There are a lot of organizations out there that are working to get neonicotinoids off the market. And I think you're going to see a huge push in the next couple of years, especially now that we know they're decimating monarch populations too. It's not just bees. So this is...
Oh my gosh, this is so educational.
Oh, I know. My presentation sometimes. And then this is wild bees here. Now this is interesting. There are 4,000 different types of native wild bees in the United States, and there's 20,000 around the world. But get this, a quarter of them have not been seen in the past decade. They're gone. There are some bee species that have disappeared. Like, for example, 2 years ago, the U.S. Geological Survey came out with a report, the rusty-patched bumblebee that used to be in the millions from the Midwest to the East Coast. They counted 479 left in the wild, and that was it. Now they just came out with a report a couple of weeks ago. The Southern Plains bumblebee, they're gone from like 6 states, and they're in trouble. They are going to go extinct. We are losing bee species all the time. 1 in 4 bee species are at risk of extinction. And people need to know about this. Like we started down there talking about it, is so much of our food is dependent on our pollinators. And if we do not raise awareness, if we do not get people to understand that there's a serious situation going on, we are going to lose food crops, not just for ourselves, but for other pollinators, for birds, for the butterflies that we love, you know? And it's not good, David. We need people to know this. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise awareness and educate, and we start with the kids because they're going to need to grow up and do something about it. We're not going to live forever.
No, as you're talking, I'm thinking about all the BS that we're sold on TV about climate change, whether it's real or not. But the climate change that really is going on is the industrial change in our I'm put in the words of like we're affecting our ability to survive on this planet, and it's not the environment. It's what we need is food, our water, food. All that is being affected by the poisoning,
water, air, everything. Yeah.
and that's where it is man-made poisoning our environment.
Yes, David, and people are not aware of that. They don't understand. Yes, you know, raising CO2 emissions has been very harmful to life on this planet, but there's so much more that people need to know, and that's how we're trying to raise awareness. Vilma's trying to raise awareness. The Monarch Milkweed Project's trying to raise awareness, and that's one of the best reasons to have the Butterfly Festival and teach people, because we could get a lot of people in one place and educate them.
By the way, you've been invited for August Summer Nights if you'd like to have a booth down there.
Oh, thank you,
yeah,
David.
so
We should do that.
every Thursday till August. Hey, real big one. La Russ will be playing the last Friday. That's one of our own Vallejo musicians. Has a huge following, so we're looking to see thousands and thousands of
great,
people.
David.
So
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, thank you. We will definitely look into that. We should get back to the garden because I think they have food now. Where did
Okay, let's go ahead and end this. It's been an honor to be part of this this movement here. Thank you to the Butterfly Festival, because I never would have met all you good folks and learn about how, like, you know, we're wiping ourselves out and we're dooming ourselves. You know, you can't sit, like you were saying, like to raise the CO2 or whatever, like that can't be measured as much as seeing our food diminish. That we can measure the change in climate, and we're doing it to our own selves for the sake of someone's profits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, David, that's exactly it. To make food crops, like corn is like the largest food crop in the United States, and to make that profitable, there are companies that are just spraying it to death with different chemicals, and that gets into our water and our, you know, it gets into our own bodies. You know?
Yes, and you know, I like to drink beer and party out, and I sit there and I think, because I'm drinking Modelo, it's made of corn.
Yeah.
I'd like to test myself to see if I'm toxic with herbicides and pesticides.
I do not know, David, but it would not surprise me.
Hey, can you guys grow some hops and barley over here?
I know.
Thank you so much,
we should
Nina.
go back to the garden. Oh, you're welcome,
And
David.
we'll get this all wrapped up, and I'll get it to you and let you guys edit the heck out of it. And yeah, great job. Thank you. And we'll be seeing a lot of each other. I'm glad to be able to say that.
Yeah, I'm glad to be able to say that too.
All right, everybody. Man, this is bigger than Vallejo. What's going on here? This is a real humanitarian movement, and I'm glad it's here. Starting, you know, Vallejo's part of it. And so, everybody, enjoy this video. I didn't realize it was going to turn into an educational video, and I'm always enlightened when I hang out with Nina and all the good folks. I'm learning so much about how important, you know, these pollinators are, even more now, finding out that without certain wasps, you can't have figs.
That's right.
So If you like them dried figs, getting all that fiber, better start fighting to bring back the wasps. All right, everybody. Later, Gators.